Thank you for having me back. It's nice to see some familiar faces and meet some new people as well. Zach Sensei said he wanted to focus on ukemi this weekend. When people think of ukemi, they usually think of falling and rolling. What ukemi is, as we just experienced for the last hour, ukemi is so much more than just falling and rolling. Okay? Anybody know what ukemi means when you break it down, the word? No? So it's made up of two Japanese words. The verb ukeru, which means to receive, and mi, mi, which means body. So ukemi is uke, mi, to receive to the body. Okay? So ukemi is not just falling and rolling, it's receiving. That's what ukemi is. So there are more qualities than just am I falling and rolling correctly. And we touched on that in the first hour. I'm going to pick up kind of where we left off. Aikido is the art of what? What have you guys read? What have you heard?
Peace.
Peace. What else? There's lots of synonyms.
Harmony.
Harmony. What else? Ever heard the art of blending? Right? Aikido is the art of blending. And I think, and that's what makes Aikido unique in many respects to some other martial arts. But I think sometimes we confuse blending and what I call collapsing. So we're going to work on some exercises today and tomorrow that are based around not collapsing. I can blend with somebody without collapsing. When I collapse, I'm giving in my biomechanical structure and I'm allowing myself to be reversed on. I'm giving away my power. I'm giving away my strength. So when we blend, we want to blend in an expansive, not a contracted manner. Okay? So we're going to do a series of exercises to work on that. Does anybody want to learn super cool techniques today they've never seen before? Okay, we're not going to do that. All right? What I would like to make super cool is that you guys go home today going, wow, I can do what I already know so much better. That's what I'd like you guys to go home with today. All right? It's fun to go to seminars and be like, wow, I've never seen that technique before. But if your mechanics aren't there, the technique won't work. No technique will work. All right? So, if I say, and we'll get started in just a second, I just want to share a few concepts to think about while we're doing things you already know. I talk a lot about the word accommodate. Okay? If I say I'm accommodating somebody, what does that mean in English? Not in martial arts, just in regular colloquial use.
Giving to their face.
Say again?
Giving to their face.
Giving to somebody's face. Okay? Some other words.
Be hospitable.
Be hospitable. Ooh, be hospitable. That'll come in handy. Okay? Giving into someone's space. What else? When you accommodate somebody, what are you doing?
You put them ahead of you.
You put them ahead of you. Excellent.
You weaken yourself.
You weaken yourself. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's a different context of accommodate, but I like that one. I like that one a lot, especially in the martial context. So in its most basic notion, to me, accommodate means I change me for the sake of somebody else. Okay? I think in martial arts, that's a problem. That I change me for the sake of somebody else. I'm giving in, I'm making myself weak. All right? So what I'd like you guys to focus on today and tomorrow is how do I practice the art of harmony, the art of peace, the art of blending without making yourself weak. All right? So, Zach Sensei. The most basic thing we learn when we're new is Shomenuchi Ikkyo. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Everybody's familiar with Shomenuchi Ikkyo. I go to seminars, even seminars with high-ranking black belts, and here's what I see, Shomenuchi. Does that look like the art of blending? Zach Sensei's energy is coming this way. Which way is my energy going? Okay, ready? Again, the art of blending. That is not the art of blending. Okay. Secondly, I see this a lot. This is what I call accommodating. Who's in charge? Me or him? Zach Sensei's in charge. Look at me. This is what I call accommodating. I am collapsing my biomechanical structure for the sake of his. Who's taller, by the way? Him. Right? That's a problem. Who's collapsed? Who's extended? I'm collapsed. He's extended. So, he's asserting and I'm accommodating. To me, this is the opposite of Aikido. So, as opposed to doing this way, I see a lot of people do Aikido like this. Because Zach's energy is going this way and I'm going this way. I call that conflict. Aikido is not the art of conflict. I call that clashing. So, nice and slow. Did I collapse myself? No. Did I collapse myself? This is accommodating. I want you guys to avoid accommodating today. Okay? So, as an attack comes in, I raise my arms, move myself out to the side. My arms are fully extended. Zach's energy was coming this way, and I redirected it in this manner. But it's relatively the same direction. I don't push back. That's conflict. That's fighting. Aikido is not fighting. And I bring him down to this position here. Okay? Do it again. I'm moving my front foot and my back foot all the way up and down. I do not move toward the strike. I do not move toward the conflict. I meet, I blend, and I turn. Okay? So even slower motion now. I'm going to cup his elbow, and I'm going to cut his top wrist. I will not grab his wrist until the bottom. Okay? When people grab at the top, then they bend their wrist. See my wrist? This is broken biomechanics. This is me accommodating. Anybody recognize this shape? It's contends. Okay? I've actually had people reverse Shoninchi and they put me in contends because I was flexing my wrist. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Whoa! Next thing you know, I'm over around. So, nice and slow. Touch at the top, grab at the bottom. My outside foot is forward. Please do not do EQ like this. Right? Because there's nothing to prevent him from scooping in and grabbing my leg. If my outside foot is forward, grab my leg. Can't. Okay? No takedown, no pin, just this entry, please. Okay? Shominachi Ikkyo from Gyaku Hannon. Do not accommodate. I'm good. So that's, you went straight this way, which is really quite good. Now, I want you to step 90 degrees. So as Michael, Mike, yes, there's Michael, straight there. Watch out, they're calling him going this way. I'm going to rotate his elbow. So I'm actually hitting the reason why I don't want to bring him backward is because there's a truck coming. You're a truck, walk towards me. What's the problem? You're not moving. Right. I'm moving though, backwards, but I'm still in the way of the truck. So now come at me again. Right? That's how you start. Okay. So move to the side. Slow. Okay, now, notice Colin's hand is on his leg. That you need none. Okay, so you need to step here with your right foot and watch what happens. Ah! Right. One more. Okay, Yame. So a couple things about EQ. Very common things that people do. So, first of all, a lot of people are still grabbing here. Force a hat, straight. Right? So, a couple things why you never grab the wrist. In order for me to grab the wrist, my elbow is flared out. Anybody see a problem? Zach, EQ? Well, Zach will be an EQ because I grabbed his wrist. Okay, again. EQ. He's reversing for me. Same thing. Reverse something. Okay? He can't. But if I commit to the other side, if I commit and I grab here, then I'm giving him a foundation for reversing. He's got me and EQ. If I'm here and he tries that, it doesn't work. Okay? Oh, he's some awful. Okay. You see a lot of ideas in here. So, strike slowly, softly. I'm here. That way if he tries to reverse on me, he can't. When I get to the bottom. Now, some of this, I saw this. Is this EQ? What's wrong? Watch. If I let go, he should fall over.
He's still stable.
He's stable. And if you see somebody do this, they're stable. Right? Or this. Everyone does it at seminars. So, if someone's elbow or hand goes to their knee, you're not done yet. You did part of Ikkyo. Ikkyo means I'm out here, his hand comes out because he needs to come out. Now he's on 3 limbs. If we go back, he's on 2 limbs. You don't have his balance. From there, he can shoot it, sweep my legs, and throw me because he has his balance. So go soft and slow when you do Ikkyo. There. This is where I should be. Okay? So we teach this differently, Casper, than at most other seminars. My teacher taught me this, and I resisted it for 5-6 years. Now I get it. It makes sense. Your posture is critical. Who's in charge? Yeah, he's kind of in charge. But this is how most people do Ikkyo. If I want Zach to go down, most people go down. It's this unspoken thing. I want him to go down, so I go down. Okay? Ikkyo is here. I'm up. I'm up. Not this. This. Stand up. Your biomechanics are critical. Your biomechanics determine who wins. Okay? That's the kind of Ikkyo I'd like you to consider. Okay? So, thank you, Zach. Hey. May I use the sword? Oh, yes. Okay. So, when you guys swing a sword, proper swinging of sword is this way. My elbows are pointing down. Most people swing swords like this, where my elbows are pointing up and out. When my elbows are up and out, I'm accommodating. I'm breaking my biomechanics. Even with my sword above my head, my elbows are still down. Here. Not out, not up. This is a critical thing. That's why practicing the sword is so valuable. Develop your swing first, and then you can apply it to technique. When you hold a sword, keep your elbows down, and keep your hands in front of you. When people accommodate Aikido, let's show a few different accommodations. Iriminage, most people familiar with it? Biggest accommodation, right? Is I'm here, I'm breaking my posture. I cut down like this, I'm trying to throw them. Where's my hand? It's behind me. When police officers arrest people, they put their hands behind their back. Why?
Position of weakness.
Position of weakness. Okay? They put their hands behind. If it's a white-collar criminal, then they put them in front and they put a jacket over it so you can't see it. But if you're a bad dude, they put your hands back here because you're weak. If I give you a weight and I ask you to hold it in front of you like this, a 45-pound weight with 2 plate, can you hold it here? Right? What if I give you the same plate and ask you to hold it back here? Maybe some of you can, but not nearly as long because you're weak back here. Your hands belong in front of you. Your sword belongs in front of you. Okay? So, tenchinage, yoterori tenchinage, here, relax. Good connection, soft. When most people do a real todori tenchinage, they go like this. And now this hand is behind my back, and this elbow is behind my shoulder, and then they try to throw. By the way, who's taller? He's taller. In Aikido, you must be taller than your opponent, no matter what. So as I enter, I'm here. Now I'm tall. He's off balance. My hand is in front of me. And then past his chin. So we're going to do tenchinage. I know everybody knows it, but most people do what I call the chest bump. Okay? Where they move their hands out to the side, where they're weak, and then they push. So instead, draw your sword. I have a sword in my belt. I'm going to draw it across and cut his belly. My hand is in front of me. From there, I extend my arm. Look how tall I am relative to Zach. So my second rule in Aikido is never, 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 never try to throw somebody who's taller than you. Right? So nice and soft. No resistance. We're going over biomechanics. Connection, but not resistance. Forward. My hand is in front of me. Most people leave their hand behind and their arm behind. My hand's in front of me. Connection. Here. My elbow is down. When people do tenchinage, they lift the elbow up. But I don't want to lift the elbow up because he'll go underneath my arm and put me in Sankya. See the reversal? That's why my elbow is down, like I demonstrated with the sword. Step through and throw tenchinage. Let's try tenchinage and molte from Gyotero. And please remember these points. Do not leave your hands behind you. Very good. forward. See how much I didn't even get to the other half. Yeah. But Harry's taller than me. I have to fix that before I can do a technique. I must change that. Okay, Yame. Like I said, we're going to move really quickly. So, lots of good questions. Sensei? Lots of good questions. Some of you moved 1 foot. My goal, I must be taller than Zach. Now here's just a thought. You stand there. Okay, who's taller? Okay, I'm going to move 1 foot. Did I get taller or shorter? Shorter. Right. If you move 1 foot, you get even shorter. That's why you cannot move 1 foot. You must move 2 feet. Okay, I shuffle. Look, now I'm taller. My hand is in front of me. Don't put it behind you. Don't go around his head. This is all, what am I doing? I'm accommodating. Thank you. Yes, I love that word, accommodate. For his sake, I am putting myself in a weak position. So walk away, Zach. See? My arm is behind me. My hand is behind me. Weakness. The sword is here. The sword is not here. You don't hide a sword behind you like this. Okay? Alright. Kotegaeshi. We've already explored Kotegaeshi a little bit today. Let's do Katate Dori, Kotegaeshi here. Full Tenkan. I don't care which direction you go from here. Let's step out. Who's taller? Me. That's what most people do. They get to this point. Who's taller? He is. I did all this work to get off the line, to make sure I was taller, and then I accommodated for him. Yes, my hands are in front of me. That's good. But he's taller than me. Crap. I messed up. Okay? So when we do Kotegaeshi, Kotegaeshi happens here. You do not hold the sword here. Okay? I won't touch you. This is not how you use a sword. The sword is here, where you're strong, in front of your hara, your belly. So that's where Kotegaeshi occurs. So, kata dori. I'm in. Tenkan, who's taller? Here. Now tell me when he gets taller than me again. Did he get taller than me? Okay, good. Also, if we accommodate, I said I want him to go down, so I tend to go down. Try to resist that habit. Okay, I'm in a really bad place martially. He can punch me, he can kick me, he can grab me, he can pull me in. Then we end up in a wrestling match, like a grappling session. We want to try to avoid that. So, I let go of Zach Sensei. In, out, At no time does he get taller than me. At no time do I bend over. At no time do I bring Kotegaeshi in front of his face. Katate Dori Kotegaeshi. Boom, boom, boom. At no time do I bend over. Here, sword. Let's try this, please. Okay? Thank you, sir. You go really slow. Yame for a second. Guys, switch partners, do the same technique. I know you're familiar with this, but listen. Be partners in the dojo, not opponents. A lot of you guys are resisting each other and it's messing up the biomechanics. That's why when you're doing slow, you have connection, but no resistance. Resistance comes later, after you understand the mechanics. Go slow during seminars. Here, go slow. Zach is my partner. He's teaching me the proper mechanics. He's not resisting me. Okay? Now, some of you guys, everyone does this. Every seminar is the same. Everyone does the same thing. We all collapse. This is me accommodating Zach Sensei. I'm also putting my face in a really bad place. Okay? My arms are forward. Look, I'm taller than Zach Sensei. If I enter, now what can you show me? See? I took a little bit, I collapsed my arms because I think I need that in order to throw somebody. I need a long lever in order to throw somebody. When I move in, my Kotegaeshi gets weaker. Look, and this is great. Look at the tool Zach is being for me. I mean that in a good sense. Okay? Not in the negative sense. As I stand, this happens to Zach. Stand up straight. He can't. But if I accommodate, he can. No, relax. Ah. Okay? Switch partners. Try it for 2 more minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
I don't
See?
I'm doing it.
I've broken my punch. All he has to do is push this way. And I'm off balance. So instead, here, I do not. And look at me. Boom.
Yeah.
I mean, he's unconscious. Okay? But if again, this is, people think this is the art of blending. This is the art of getting in. I'm a mess. All he has to do is attack me. See? He's got it. So always straight. It helps if you have a bad knee, because then you won't know. Okay?
Right? Thank you.
Okay, young man. Very nice. So, contends is a technique that a lot of people fall in love with early on because it's the one they think they understand first. I hate contends. I think it's dangerous. Not for him, for me. I think it's a weak technique. I don't like contends yet. It's the one most people gravitate to. I hate contends. So, this is me accommodating. See? I'm collapsing because I think I need to contract my muscles for stress, and I'm moving into Zach. People bring the hand to the other person. This is incorrect. By the way, when I say incorrect, I mean the way we teach it at Castle Rock. I know there's lots of ways to teach techniques. So if you hear me say something like wrong or incorrect, I mean relative to what we teach at Castle Rock. Okay? I don't mean it's wrong. Okay. When I do kotegaeshi, Zach Sensei's head comes to me. You see the difference? It's a different energy. First, okay? All right. Most people go like this. I'm moving to Zach. I'm bringing his hand to his shoulder. By the way, if you're bringing his hand to his shoulder, what's the hinge? That's incorrect. The hinge is I mean, you guys are right. But the wrist should be the hinge. When I do kotegaeshi, his head comes to me. Not me go to him. Okay? Takes people some time to learn. Basic exercise, Ushiro Dyoteroi. This grab. Now, this is actually the middle of the technique. Alright? Because if you start in this position, you messed up big time. Right? My hands are behind me. Why is he putting his hands behind me?
Weakest position.
Because I'm weak here, right? It also probably means there's a second attacker. Okay? Meaning someone that's going to strengthen in front. So from here, we want to get to our place of strength. Let go, please. Which is in front of where my sword is held. So let's practice a basic exercise. Excuse the mirror. Stand up, Zach. There you go. He's very quick to give me Kazushi. Zach is taller than me. I have to fix that. So I'm going to come this way. Now I'm taller than Zach. My hands are in front of me, on the front of my inguinal leaves here, where I'm stronger. Here. Again, stand up as tall as you can. Grab me as hard as you can. Good. There. He's actually leaning on my back for balance at this point. I've barely done anything. So I want us to start with this basic exercise. I bend my knees, not my waist. This is bad for me. I bend my knees slightly. And I'm flexing my wrists. Please do not recruit your muscles. If I bend my elbows, that is actually quite strong, and I've got an issue. Keep your arms locked. I hate to say locked. Keep them straight. Look how free my wrists are. Here, now I'm taller. Just that much, please. Hey. Do not bend your elbows. Do not accommodate. Point 90 degrees, and then entering this there. And at the same time, bring them under. Yeah, see them fall in. That's what we want. Grabbing them. Oh, it's a lot of reasons. Great. That's all I need. Keep your hands on me for a second. Okay. It is a minimal movement. There, that's fine. I can headbutt. But do not recruit your elbows. Only resist. Hard. Good, right? Everyone bends their elbows. I'm still calm.
I don't want to take, I don't want to take part.
I'm actually driving down, and his chin is in the back of my shirt. From here, I can do all sorts of cool stuff. Okay. Okay, young man. Now, Stephen and Zach have to come up. Do what you just did. You escaped his grip, right?
Probably not.
Okay, so we're going to do something like that next. Now, that's Zach Sensei was demonstrating my next thing. Okay. So I want you to see this. Oh wait, look over a second. All right. Correct? Correct? No. Okay. So, Zach Sensei was getting ahead of me. He was going to demonstrate the next point for me. Here. When I escape this, I must raise my sword in front of me. If I do this, what am I doing?
Moving your arm.
I'm putting my arm behind me. Right? And this is good for Steve, but not me. Right? So, here, sword, out, at no time, do I ever raise my hands to the side. Okay? Because, put your hands on your head, please. Good. Anyways, does this look familiar? Hopefully not. Okay. Right? This is what police officers do. Put my hands behind my back, one at a time. Put me in cuffs. See that? Okay, now, grab my wrists. This is me doing the same thing in reverse. This is me accommodating Steve. Is he upright? Yeah, he's upright. Is he shorter than me? Good. See him stumbling? See him readjusting his balance? Because I'm not accommodating Steve. I'm raising my sword. So now we're going to scoop and raise your sword. From here, I can come this way and sun kill. Thanks, Steve. So, Zach. So again, nice and gentle. Here. This is me. Feel me accommodating you? Zach's not moving. I have a rule. If I move, he moves. He's not really moving. If I move, he moves. Now I have room to attack. Okay? You got tetanus? Okay. So let's try this with Sankyo from Ushiro Gyotodori. Raise the sword in front of you, not this way. Go ahead, please. Good. So, super flexible kick, right? Okay. So the easy button is the base of the thumb. That's the easy button. This is the wrist. It doesn't hurt most. Are you okay? That one, yeah. Sorry. It's in the picture because you were real. Rachel, you're not quite there.
Okay.
That's the perfect one. Now let's hide that. That's good.
Top hands.
This ankle's less than 90 degrees. The lower knee. See that? I see that. This is really okay. 135 degrees. So that's very high. 90, 45. Different?
Yeah, they got me.
So most people do this. This is accommodation.
Yeah, watch.
Feel different? 135 degrees. Most people cut like this. All out the edge. soft.
For that reason.
Nice.
Slow. Fine hands. Okay, Yame, good. Let's do one more before we go to lunch, okay? Now this one I think we're going to spend more time on this tomorrow. This is the one that's really hard for people. So, do not put your hands where? Okay, everybody said it, right? Okay. Okay, so, make him shorter than you. Step across the line, and throw. Okay, we're going to do a fancier one tomorrow. This is the basic version. Here, give me a bit more grip.
Tight.
Good. So, I think, by the way, the more grip he gives me, the easier this is. Okay? The easier it gets, the harder they grab you. What do you mean? What I mean is this. Your car breaks down on the beach. You have to push it back to the street. Is that going to be easy or hard?
Hard.
Hard. Why?
Hard.
There's no resistance. Right? Your car breaks down on the street. Can you push it for a little while? Sure. Because the ground is hard. It's pushing back. So, sometimes at Aikido seminars, I see what Ikeda Sensei calls too much Aikido spirit. Start to do the technique. Oh! Man, you're amazing, Sensei.
Yeah, thank you.
So, connection. Good. And connection doesn't mean tension, it's connection. Right? So, here, stepping across the line. My hands are in front of me the entire time. Scoop, step, raise, turn. I love this one. It works really well rather dynamically. Okay, so again, slowly. Do not bend your elbows, bend your wrists. Oh, now it's shorter than me. Step across the line, raise your sword, turn into him and cut across his chest. The best people to do this one with are people that are substantially taller than you. Okay? Here, look, I'm already taller than Zach, even though he's actually considerably taller. All right, let's try this one.
Height.
Everybody throw the same direction and use all three rooms, please.
Height.
That's it.
Thank you.
This is Kokinage Soto Tenkan. Good, now step across the line to one side or the other. Your choice. Up and the other, yes, across the line. Either this way or this way. Yes. Raise your left sword. Oh, that's not how we raise the sword. Let's accommodate him. How do you raise the sword? In front of you. Now you're taller than Steve. Keep this hand right where it is. Turn toward him to the left. Cut across his face. Turn your whole body, whole body. Right? I don't want to throw like this. Is this weak or strong? Weak. My hands are behind me. Watch. All of me is facing one direction. Now, cut. All of your body.
Height.
Very good otherwise. Good. Now, when you're facing the dry erase board, you should throw to the dry erase board.
Bigger step across, bigger turn. Bigger step across, bigger turn.
Bigger step across and bigger turn. Zach Sensei?
Height.
Watch. If I'm facing the scroll, I finish facing the scroll. That means 360. So, why am I taller than you? See, he's giving it to me. Here, now I'm taller than Zach Sensei. I'm going to step across the line, up, facing the scroll again to complete 360.
Height.
Oh, where's your hand, Colin? Raise your sword. Good. Your hands behind it here. Right here. Okay. All right, Yame. Time for lunch. Get ready. Okay, so before we did that technique, I said, where do your hands belong? In front. And about half the people did it. Okay? A lot of people did this. It's natural. What am I doing? I'm accommodating. Okay? We all accommodate in Aikido, and it's what ruins technique. Right? It's why you get a bunch of keyboard hunch down the internet going, this doesn't look like it would ever work. Of course not, because people are accommodated. Right? So we don't accommodate by keeping our hands in front of us like a sword. Right? You don't hold a sword behind your back. You don't make it easy for your uke. Part of the challenge with Aikido in America is that we're taught to accommodate from a very, very young age. Okay, we're in a crowded venue. Zach and I are walking toward each other. Excuse me. Yeah. We're taught to do that, right? We have personal bubbles. This is okay. This creeps Zach out. Hi, Zach. Right? So we tend to accommodate. There's a bubble around Zach. I'm accommodating him. To do Aikido properly, you must invade someone's bubble to do Aikido correctly. All right? So breaking this cultural habit is the biggest challenge, in my opinion, in Aikido. Your Aikido will get better. You can be polite by not accommodating. You can be polite and not accommodating. But we use these terms culturally in a synonymous manner. Being polite and accommodating, we said they're the same thing. They're not. They're different things. You can be polite and not accommodate. I did it last time I was here, so I wasn't going to do it, but we had a request for it. From Katanedori, Kokinage. Nice, gentle, warm-up Kokinage. I come here and over. This Kokinage is a little different than most people. I don't like traditional Kokinage. I like this version. It's a little slower. Out, up. My rule is you cannot throw somebody if they're taller than you. Zach is taller than me. Here's how most people make it do Kokinage. Okay. Doesn't make sense to me. Zach's taller than me. Zach's still taller than me. And then I try to push. It's just silly. It's the equivalent of going up to a wall and trying to push. The wall's bigger than me, it's taller than me, and it has its structure. I'm never going to win this game. I'm not going to win this game. So Zach Sensei comes in. Oh, look at that. Now he's shorter than me. Now I'm in a position to move him. A little slower. Here. Okay. So carefully, Katanedori, I'm going to pivot my hips away from Zach and towards Stephen. And then I'm going to turn my hips back towards Zach. Here. By the way, stay there. Which way is Zach leaning? Point. That way. So which way will I throw him? That way. This is what I see in Aikido all the time. He's leaning this way. And I'm trying to throw him this way. That is called the art of conflict. So he's leaning this way. I'm throwing him this way. That makes no sense. Hold me like this. In Italy, there's a building that leans like this. Right? The Leaning Tower of what? Pisa. Which way is the building going to fall? Yeah, down ultimately. It's going to fall this way. Watch. Notice, I'm not falling towards Zach. I'm falling in the direction that I'm leaning. But in Aikido, Zach's force is this way. And I watch everybody try to go this way. That makes no sense to me. That's like two trains heading toward each other. That's Shototsudo, the art of clashing. Okay, not Aikido, the art of blending. So, warm up please with this. Back foot steps across. He's leaning this way, which means he falls that way. He falls in the direction that he's leaning. Like Lee Sensei said yesterday, I too am lazy. I don't like to work hard. So I throw him in the direction that my uke is falling. So back foot steps out, arm is up, across his face. And from here I just allow it to fall. It takes no effort. If I'm doing Aikido correctly, I'm not sweating. And the reason why is I'm using his energy, not mine. If I'm using mine, I perspire. Okay? If I'm using his, I don't. Kokinage, please. Try it. Kokinage Molte. Across the front. Who's falling? If he can't. If he falls down, it's just as nice. Oh, he's falling. That's better. Raise your sword. Okay. I don't think you're going to lose turn your sword. Okay. Move both your feet. Yes, yes. So watch this. So imagine I'm standing in the street, the Sensei is a truck. If I stand like this, I'm mostly out of the way, but my ankle gets rubbed by the truck. So I step and I shuffle. Okay, now, Dan's the tallest guy in the room. My arm is above him. All I do is turn my hips and he collapses. It's so minimal that people get confused by it. It feels like more. It's like, I need more. Okay? So let's review a few things real quick about where are you then? Okay? So we don't worry about the hinge. Look, this isn't affecting. Zach's not moving. One of my rules is if I move, he moves. So Zach's attached, but not, collapsing. See this? This is me accommodating him. I know that because I'm moving and he's not. So I'm accommodating. I am holding my sword out with this way. Okay? And raise your hand as soon as possible. Instead of going around Zach like this. By the way, I'm leaning now. All he has to do is shove me with his left shoulder. And I'm off balance. Okay? So I come this way here, straight up. I'm taller than Zach. Turn my hips. Just a quarter inch. Just a tiny little bit. Okay? As little as possible. All right, let's do an entry. Close up, buddy. So, one of my rules is keep your elbows down. Everybody's always raising your elbows. So, kosadori, any kosadori is an entry, not a technique. But from kosadori, most people do this. And they go around. But now my elbow's up, and I'm starting to crook my posture. Okay, so it's not this. I'm exaggerating, but this is accommodating. Never raise your elbow unless what? Unless you're uke, unless you're falling. Now I raise my elbows up. Okay? But I will not do that. And here's one. I've done Aikido for about 10 years now. And there's a stance in Aikido called Hasono Kamai. It looks like this. It's a ready position, holding your sword here near your chin. You go to Aikido seminars, here's what people do. They do that. They see this in movies. It looks more bravado than this. Okay? This is the correct posture. If your elbow is up, it's incorrect. Everyone at Aikido seminars does this. Right? It's not a baseball bat. It's a sword. The elbow's down before you step forward and cut. Okay? So Hasono Kamai is here. I don't do this for a couple of reasons. Hold Hasono Kamai and raise your elbow up. Good. You're exposed. Put your elbow down. Good. See? It's protection. Here. Raise it up. Bang. Don't give somebody a target. Keep your elbows down. So, I mentioned that because don't point the tip near the picture of a sensei. There you go. Alright, so most people, they go like this. They raise their elbow up. They accommodate the shape of uke. By the way, what am I doing? If I'm giving him something, you see it? I'm giving him ikyo. See? I'm also giving him my ribs, just like I demonstrated, raising my elbows. So, everyone usually does this. Now my elbows up, and they think this is the art of blending. Because I'm blending, I'm going around, yes, but you're not, you're collapsing. You're accommodating. You're putting yourself in kuzushi. So instead, try this here, this way. At no time does my elbow go up. And I'm not grabbing him either. Taking my tegatami and bringing it this way, my elbow's down. Bringing it past, oh, look at that, he's already leaning. There's no technique yet, this is just an entry. How do I can practice bringing my elbows down. Keeping your elbow down, not lifting your elbow up, which is what everyone does. So even if I go forward, this comes down here. Now, I'm taller now. I can't throw somebody unless I'm taller than them. So I make them taller. Make myself taller. Okay? So let's just practice this entry. This way. Again, slowly, from static. Let's do it from static initially. I don't raise my elbow up. That puts me in a weak position. Oh, I'm getting in yonkyo. Do yonkyo. No, don't switch hands. Just, yeah, Right there. You got young. See, he's got young care right here. So do I. So, up, over. You can retreat. Generally, if someone's taller than me, I retreat this way. If I'm roughly the same height as somebody, I might enter. But do not lift your elbow up. Keep your elbow down, lift your wrist. Just like Kotegaeshi yesterday. You don't do Kotegaeshi by hinging at the elbow. You do Kotegaeshi by hinging at the wrist. Look at that, much more effective Kotegaeshi. All right, let's try this. Kosadori, Irimi, Undo.
Thank you.
We need to say that. Good. Don't grab them, Dan. So, give a dog. No? Okay. Generally speaking, if you pull on the dog's leash, they pull back. They're innately conflict-ready creatures. They're designed to pull sleds. So when they feel resistance, they pull back, just like Steve's doing. Humans do it too. Steve pushes my chest, push back. We're inclined to do that. Okay? So if I come atop of his forearm and push, he pushes back. Not to mention what's below his wrist. We just said this. What's below his wrist?
His support foot.
His support foot. Hold there, Steve. Look, I'm pushing into Steve's system of support. He's holding me up because I'm pushing into resistance. If you can let go of this innate and culturally reinforced thing we have of resist, of conflict, if you can abandon conflict, your Aikido will go through the roof in a matter of weeks. But we are conflict-based creatures. If I push on Steve, he's pushing back. Force creates counterforce. Just an ordinary principle of Newtonian physics. Force creates counterforce. So instead, here, do you feel me resisting here? That. You feel me resisting? Now, I draw him over here, where he doesn't have any support. So, instead of coming atop of him and pushing down, which doesn't make sense because his foot's in the way, he can hold me up. I bring my hand, see this angle here? Reverse that angle. See? And then I have this. Does that make sense? Now you're exposed. If I stand still, I'm pushing into his support. If I add an okuriashi to this, then there's no support. Now I'm drawing toward my hara, like a sword cut. I come back to my center. Okay? So instead of coming atop, don't grab. The second I grab, he grabs. Look at this. Some people call this Aikido. I call this a 50-50 relationship. He's got me just as much as I have him. I am no longer Nage. I'm neither Uke nor Nage, because this is like one of those TV shows, right, where you stand on a log and you try to throw each other. Okay? So, that's right.
There's a break here, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, here, come across. And now I've broken his balance and I'm taller than him. All right? Try to switch partners. Okay, Yame, very good. People are getting the hang of this, and I'm seeing different things at different times. So the whole point of this exercise, everyone does this. They go around. My elbow's up. I'm accommodating. I'm giving him ikkyo. I'm giving him reversal. Look, he's got my arm in arm. So never turn your elbows up. See? It's up. This is down. So let's turn this into a technique. Come out. Slide across his front. Irimi nage omote. A little slower, a little slower. Retreat. I'm taller than him, which means I'm capable of throwing him now. Slide in. I'm an old 80s metalhead. I like to put these two fingers on the sternocleidomastoid muscle right below the bone behind your ear. Raise my sword straight up. Turn around. And he falls. Okay? Here. Slide in and turn. And I've been getting out of the habit of doing Irimi nage like this. Even my teacher says like this, still prefers that way. Most people go like this. Irimi nage, look at my elbow. It's up. This is actually me accommodating the shape of his skull by doing this. I don't do that anymore. Keep my elbow down, like a Yoko Minucci cut. Yokomanuchi is a strong attack because your elbow's down. This to me is not biomechanically sound. Right? Here. Slide in. Not thumb. This is my thing. No, as far as I know, I don't have evidence to teach it this way. There are reasons for it that I'm unaware of. Come in front. Watch. My elbow's up. If he's a good fighter, he'll slip out. I want my elbow down. So that it comes across the skull. My elbows are down when I'm strong. My elbows are up. I'm giving something away. So last time, off the line, my elbows are down. Slide across the line to his shoulder. And then cut it with my elbow down, not pronating the wrist. My elbow up. Try Monte Iriminage Tenkai. Okay, Yame, very nice. Very, very nice. I'm going to try to get 2 more techniques in before the end of my time this morning. That's it. Okay, Kosadori Nikyo Ura. This one to me is quite fun. Kosadori Nikyo Ura. Everybody knows Kosadori. Everybody knows Nikyo, right? Ura means to go behind, right? In a literal sense, it means to go behind. What it really means is who's behind me, right? In sort of a Q level, a mote means front. Q level, mote means back. That's fine. But the real purpose of ura is not Zach's back. It's my back. Who's behind me? Who's behind me? So your circle of awareness grows. And you see this with new students, right? Brand new students are all they care about is themselves. Left foot, right foot. As they get better, they care about you and their partner. And as they reach Idachi level, they care about this, and they're aware of everyone else in the dojo. So that you don't like get a kaizenage, right? And then throw somebody into another pair of people practicing. So your circle of awareness expands as your training improves. So, Kosadori. Okay, Zach was taller than me. With a modicum of movement. Here. This is a form of Nikyo called Hishige, meaning Hishige. It's made up of 2 words. Hiji, meaning elbow, and Kime, meaning lock. But when you put them together, they contract, and Hiji Kime is a mouthful. So they just say Hishige. Here. You're done. Okay? From here, coming over again, and again, it's not this. It's not big circles. It's a little circle. And I'm taller than Zach. I can affect him more so here. As I igimi, enter, I go for the wrist. I have to get out of this. Kosadori is a pretty good grip. I go forward, come back under. And my elbow is right where it belongs already. Which way is my elbow pointing?
Yeah.
Down. Here's some 90% of Aikido students. See? Height. How's my elbow? Up. Push it. Push. I'm giving him a reversal. I am what? What am I doing with that? Accommodating. Who's taller? Him. I can't throw somebody if they're taller than me. I must address that first. So he's taller. I haven't taken his balance. How's his posture? Perfect. And then I accommodate by bringing my elbow up and then jump on it. Resisting. Hold up. Maybe I can find it. It probably hurts a little bit, but it's not effective. So, Zach's taller than me, Zach is shorter than me. Bang. Out. Shit. My elbow, tell me when my elbow goes up, okay? When did my elbow go up? It didn't. Right. Because if your elbows go up, you're off balance. If your elbows go up, you're accommodating. If your elbows go up, you're exposing important targets. When you do ura, you go for the wrist, not the elbow. Right? When you do a mote, you go for the elbow. If I do a mote, I go for the elbow because I'm placing it on my knee and I'm finding Nikyo. I'm placing his wrist on my desk here. Okay? I see in seminars a lot, people try to do ura they go for the elbow, and then they have this sort of magical moment where they find Nikkyo in midair. Do that to me. Find Nikkyo in midair. Grab, do ura, grab my elbow. Right, put me in Nikkyo. Go ahead. Try. Go ahead. Try. Go ahead. You can't. So, if you do a mote, you go for the elbow, you put it on your disc, and you find Nikkyo. But when you do ura, you must have a shorter lever. So you go for the wrist, you roll it over. Here I can make that transition. Does that make sense?
Right.
So we're doing ura, so we go for the wrist. Here, my elbows down, stepping in. As I tenkan, I find Nikkyo, and I place it on the inside shoulder. He's done. Okay? Bang. So let's try this. Kosan dori, Nikkyo ura. Do not raise your elbow. I will point at you and laugh at you when you do. Just to reinforce that you shouldn't do it. Okay? Go ahead.
Roger, want to get you?
So your Nikkyo is in front of you're doing it in front of your pelvis. Nikkyo should be here, in front of your chest. See this?
Yeah.
Okay, see this? I'm in front of my chest. Out. As I turn, Nikkyo. Here. You guys are all doing it down here. Doing some grammar helps throw you. Or worse, punch you in the groin. Oh! Okay, I'm going to try to squeeze one more in, okay? Before we do, Kosadori Nikkyo is troublesome because you get here now. How do I get? He's got a pretty good grip. Anybody struggle to get Nikkyo from this Kosadori? I do. He's got a good grip. It's easier with Kataka, right? You don't nearly have as good grip, right? So, Kosadori, I come here, and then people are like, it's a long way around, okay? His weak, people think weak is this way, and it is. But with the Kosadori, we've got this Lee Sensei hook that we practiced yesterday. It's pretty good, pretty sturdy. But watch. Out it comes. I go toward his pinky. Strong Kosadori. I'm out and come behind the hand for Nikkyo. Nope. Yes. Do not raise the elbow. Expose yourself. I can lift weights like this. This is harder. I can do more push-ups like this, where my elbows are down and close to my torso. This is harder because my elbows are up and out. Okay. All right. So let's end with. Yesterday I said one of the big principles is trying to make sure everybody gets hands in front. So we did this yesterday from a static position. Ushiro Gyotodori. Actually, give me some more. Good. Ushiro Gyotodori. We step across the line, up, and I leave my hand here. Okay? About half of us, even though we went over it really carefully, half of us did what all humans do, we accommodate. And they put their hand behind their back. All Aikidos do this. Okay? Zach's taller than me. Zach's taller than me. And like a police officer, Zach is putting handcuffs behind my back where I'm weak. So let's remember not to do this. As I step across, look, who's taller? Me. If I put my hand behind my back, who's taller? Zach. Watch, if I fix my hand, I'm taller again. Raise, throw. So you must keep your hands in front of you. Let's do a more dynamic version now of this. He's coming around to get me, which don't you have to grab? Coming around to get me first. Okay? Traditional. I love this one. We call this one Kokinage Soto Tenkan, because I'm turning to the outside, and it's Kokinage on Tenkan. It's coming around to get me. Kokinage. There's a truck coming. I won't do it this time. Come toward me. Okay. Toward me. I am walking forward on a 45-degree angle. don't stand still. If you stand still, the car hits you. Oh! Again. Oh! Okay? I forgot to get off the line. Now, you throw an elbow, you hurt somebody. So, we've been practicing sword this weekend in my class, right? So, I'm off the line, I'm raising my sword and turning my hips. It makes a soft tricep if it makes contact with him. Makes contact with his face. Not my hard elbow. Okay? So it's not this. By the way, I'm breaking my rule. I'm raising my elbows up. Instead, I keep my elbows down. My hand is above my elbow. Points down, not up. One last time. Soto Tenkan, Kokinagi, from Nagare Ushiro Gyokuro. Nice, right. Okay, you guys understand? See? As he grabs my wrist, he's coming around and getting my other wrist. Come get my other wrist. See it? Very quick. Come around and get my other wrist. Come get it. Here, I'm on top. I am wrapping myself up like a candy cane. So, I'm going to do it. Step. Hand is where it belongs, my pelvis, and I'm making a strike around my body. You see how he's crooked as I make the strike? Then. Okay, so wrap yourself up like a blanket, turn and cut your sword. Okay, try to get it. Yeah. So that's it. I get it. See me accommodated? This should be, what, he's almost as tall as me. Watch. Now he's shorter than me. Here. Okay. Everybody's time for that. Thank you very much. So this is, I love this technique. That's why I left it for the end, to sort of build on the principles we were talking about. Okay, keep your hands in front of you. Maintain your posture. You cannot throw somebody if they're taller than you. If you do throw somebody when they're taller than you, that's a cooperative uke. It will only work in the dojo. So if you're attacked by somebody in the dojo, it will work. Otherwise it won't work. Okay? You cannot throw somebody if they're taller than you. It just won't happen. I see it all the time, and it's just cooperative, contrived Aikido. All right? When you're nage, assert, don't accommodate. Accommodation is so ingrained in our psychology. I saw almost everybody still doing this, putting their hand behind their back, because it's part of our culture to accommodate the other person. It doesn't work in martial arts. You must assert, not accommodate. Okay? So just keep these principles in mind. Blend, don't collapse. And wherever the head's pointed, that's the direction you throw uke. Don't bring somebody over and then throw them back the other way. It's silly. You were already here. Why bring them down and bring them back up? You started there. Why would you do that? Bring them down and continue to throw them in the same direction. Okay? Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.